Welcome back to our last episode of Uncivil Discourse for this season. Hosted by Lee,
Hey, everybody.
myself, and our guest commentator this year, Laura.
Hello.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We've had great commentators this year, and I'd just like to take a moment to thank Lee and Laura for being here with me.
Ooh, I can retort. Isn't a retort a type of pastry?
I have no idea.
Tortilla.
Anyway, Brett, yeah, I want to say right back at you. Thank you so much for being part of this with me, and thank you for inviting me to join up with you 4 years ago. It's been a blast. I'm looking forward to a few more years with you.
Well, the podcast was your plan and your idea, so couldn't let you do it alone.
And we really do need to give props to Laura. Thank you very much, Laura, for joining us this season and allowing us to abuse your sensibilities with Brett's horrible jokes.
Lasting all season.
I lived with them for how long? I think I can put up with the jokes.
At least you didn't say that was the joke.
Yeah, right? You guys are buttering me up. What? Why?
Because we still want you to keep doing our background work with all the statistics and everything.
Paperwork still needs to be done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
An army marches on its stomach, or Uncivil
It's
Discourse
logistics.
marches on the person who helps us make us look good.
And that's why this is a non-visual show. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's take a quick peek and see how the season ended up. Let's start with the D-side finals. This match was played between Clan Cobra Chicken and the Lyran Rangers, facing off in our illustrious Lunar Bullshit map. This match looked like the Lyran Rangers were going to win. It was so close to victory they could taste the goodness. Then the Highlander falls down and cores itself, flipping the tides. Clan Cobra Chicken takes home the win and the championship of D-Division in a 2-2 pip count Cobra Chicken victory.
Isn't that similar to what happened in his match with Alex? Didn't Alex fall over a bunch of times and that ended up giving the Clan Cobra Chickens the win?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds like the dice gods, or at least the win-loss gods, decided to favor the Clan Cobra Chickens at the end of the season.
Actually, Alex fell over and cored one of his mechs too in that game,
That's what I mean.
specifically.
And he flooded a mech.
Yeah.
It was really bad for the Wolfpack in that game. Just bad luck all the way around. Moving on to the Seaside Finals, Seaside Best Side, we have a match of the Steel Shod Shambles and the Wards Werewolves facing each other down in the Devil's Bath, a map nobody looks forward to, however, always ends up being entertaining. This looked like it was going to be a very close match on paper. Steel Shod Shambles have a zombie lance with powerful guns. However, the Wards Werewolves have a lot of accuracy with their clan large pulse lasers and that devastating dire wolf with a pair of ERPPCs and 2 gauze rifles. Steel Shod victory was absolutely eradicated, though, when they lost 3 of their 4 mechs to head hits, making it almost an impossible game to win when a mech is just simply vaporized. Victory goes to Wards Werewolves today with a 4-2.
B-side finals match played between Hank's Handies taking on Riston's Rogues. Rumble in the business district with a big old tea party. These armchair generals sure know how to throw a party. In the end, though, it's Hank's handy dandy victory. 2-2 pip count.
And lastly, our A-side champion game. We have the Neutro Reavers versus the Scions of Amaris. Splish Splash, they're taking a bath in the River Delta this game, and it was looking like the Amaris victory until the very last turn was called. With one more turn to win it all, 3 dead mechs on each side, and the Reavers mech is crippled. Amaris has the game. Alas, 2 medium pulse lasers to the Cataphract's head, and it's a 4-3 Reavers victory. Congratulations, JP, on taking the top victory this year, as well as becoming our first 3-time league champion in the history of Calgary Battletech League.
Well, now that all the boring technical jargon is all done, we come to the part that where people really tune into us to see how bad our predictions are.
So more technical jargon.
Yeah, but this is the fun, how bad are we? Not how good is everybody else.
That does not bode well the way she's phrasing that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, not really. So Brett, for the full 10 weeks regular season, came out with 49.38% correct. Not quite as good as last year.
Flipping a coin. That's all you do is
Yep.
flip a coin.
For the playoffs, round 1, he came in with 43.75%. Round 2, he got better with 75%. But finals were your kryptonite. 0% correct predictions.
Wah, wah, wah. In my defense, I would like to point out this was the year of upsets and the year of holy crap, how do we get that many ties this week?
We won't talk about that, Ties. No.
It was absolutely a season of ties, and most of them for Laura.
Ugh.
We had lots of upsets too. People that multiple of us were like, this is going to be this game. And then the underdog wins it.
True. We had a couple of weeks where we were horrible.
Or I got it right because I just vote for my kid.
Yes, that is on record now.
He doesn't win because I vote for him. Kid would lose to spite me.
He wins to spite you.
Yeah. Yeah. Lee's regular season 10 weeks came out with 53.13%.
Slightly better than flipping a coin.
Playoff round 1, 62.5%. Round 2, also 62.5%. And in the finals, he got 2 out of the 4 games correct.
I couldn't believe OG didn't win. I thought that was in the bag.
Yeah, I pretty much thought that one was in the bag too.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's the one you got right.
It is the one final I got right.
I can't believe you guys voted against JP. I can't believe you guys voted against JP. I was like, hey, I'm going to get one right for sure.
I've said it all year. I even said it last year when I was a guest beforehand. I vote for the underdog. If Alex can beat JP, anybody can beat JP. I was just kind of hoping it was Jeff.
He would have been a very, very worthy champion. Back-to-back champions, too.
Yeah.
So, oh, speaking of which, before we get to the last bit there, Laura, I do have to mention, we had history set a couple of times this season. One, JP
Most tie games.
There's a few of them. JP became our first 3-time champion, most time games ever, and we have our first back-to-back division champion. John won D-side 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
So a season of firsts and a season of some great upsets as well. So Laura, how did you do?
Not as good as you two with the regular season. I came in just slightly behind Brett with 46.25%. But I smoked you guys round 1 playoffs. I got 75% predictions correct.
And that's the hardest one, actually, because there's so many teams
Because
playing.
there's so many teams, yeah. Round 2, I only got 37.5. And in my finals, like I said, I got one right. Got 25%.
Hey, that's better than Brett. That's the first time I think we've ever had a 0.
That is the first time we've ever had a 0. So there's another first.
I'd have to say I think we did all right this season. I'm not going to brag that I beat you this time, Brett, though I am kind of by bringing it up.
I would if it was reversed.
Yeah, I know you would, but I'm not that kind of person. But the thing is I'd have to say overall, we didn't do that great in the overall regular season, but we had 2 or 3 weeks of complete upsets, so that really threw
really wonky upsets.
But in the playoffs, we saw some teams that we didn't think were going to win because they kind of fluctuated during the regular season, who came in really strong in the playoffs. And it was really cool to see people who had spent all season learning their lances come out strong in the playoffs.
Tune in to a very special Battle Babes release for the roundtable interviews from this week. Thank you very much, Heather and Laura. Since this is kind of a statistics episode, we've got some interesting statistics here to talk about. This year, we had 16 of 32 stables that engineered 3 or 4 of their mechs. 14 stables used the reassignment or chassis upgrade to get into a new unit during the season. 14 times a 100-ton mech was taken. Some stables had 2. 16 stables went double assault mechs this year, so half of the league did.
Which is a downgrade from last season.
It is, especially when you consider that, we only had 6 clan players, so that factors in. Pretty impressive that we had a little bit more variety this year. 2 stables went double medium, and they didn't do so hot, but, at least they got to play the game the way they wanted to. And then 5 stables went double heavy mechs.
6 teams fielded the Marauder 2, making our most popular chassis this year. And I'd have to say some of the top teams in League went with those. I think 3 or 4 of the A-side teams had Marauder 2s.
I think every St. Ives player had a Marauder 2.
4 Marauders, the 75-tonners, were in the heavy category as the most popular chosen mech. And the medium mech was the go-to this year is the 55-ton mechs, which were things like Wraiths and Wolverines. And those are just going to be constants every year. They're too strong a mech to not end up being chosen as the medium.
Of the 6 clan players, we only saw 2 Direwolves this year. I think we had 3 last year. And 2 Ice Ferrets doubling up. Otherwise, the clan mechs were really diverse, and it was nice to see the stables taking different units.
All that talk about mechs. Now we're going to talk about awards. So our Players' Choice Awards this year were the Phoenix Hawk Memorial Award, our Master Tactician, and the Good Egg. The Phoenix Hawk Memorial Award goes to Carlo for overheating his Banshee so bad it shut down, allowing his opponent to remove him from play shortly afterwards. Our Master Tactician goes to Jeff, who, more or less, has the best grasp of tactics and plays on a level we all strive to achieve.
Now that was Mr. Painter, not our resident OG.
And the Good Egg Award for the Irby with the best derby goes to James Hamilton, the player who everyone wants to sit across the table with.
I'm telling you, the Hamiltons are some of the greatest players to join League in the past few years. They're just so much fun to have around. So yeah, James definitely earned that.
Yeah. Congratulations to all 3 of our Players' Choice Awards winners. Woo!
And thank you to special thank you to OG for all of the help that he does in between seasons, getting us up and rolling, and making sure that Lee and I can come to an agreement when we can't come to an agreement, as well as Jeff, the other Jeff, for painting the trophies for us. I know a lot of work goes into that, and we appreciate that, and all of our members for the positive attitude and the community that you all bring.
You missed one part that our resident painter does. He does all of our reschedules. It's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. And then lastly, I was waiting for you to point it out, Lee. Who's the other 2 people that help us out a lot?
Well, there's Heather, my wife, who's part of the social committee. Her and Laura do a lot of work setting up our potlucks and things like that. They booked our dinner, after awards ceremony dinner location for us, so we could all go and do that, as well as, of course, Laura. She does a ton of work in the background. No, we have a really good, strong support system with the administrative staff, as well as, just overall a great group of people.
For anybody considering to do something like this, whether it's a podcast or a league or just even a tournament, make sure you have the staff that you need to help you out. It makes life infinitely better, and it makes your event way more successful. Anything to add, Laura?
Not really.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
How about drop the mic?
No, I enjoy doing the behind-the-scenes stuff. And it was a little step outside my comfort zone doing the podcast this year, but I'm... even though it took 2 years of Brett prodding me, going, come on, you'll be good, come on. And I finally gave in, so. And you won't hear this very often, but you were right. It was fun.
That's recorded. I need a clip.
I'll get it for you, absolutely. Since I do the editing for the podcast, I'll make sure you get it. Laura, you've done a lot of growth in the ability to come and speak out. I know how scared you were to talk and be recorded. We did avoid doing a lot of camera work because you're shy. You didn't want your face on camera. But all in all, you've really shown that you could step up and do it, and you've been very entertaining. Thank you for joining us, and you're always invited to come back and join us. Whatever we're recording, just drop in and say hi.
I might do that as Battle Babe 2, since once life settles down and everything gets weird without having actual Battletech to go to every other Sunday. Heather and I are getting back to the Battle Babes reading and book reviews and supplementals. We have one in the wings, just waiting for, I think, editing and some additions. So we do have one on the books. It'll come out soon, we promise.
Well, everyone, thanks again for tuning into another wonderful season. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for off-season shows, and you never know what might pop up.
We have a few tournaments coming up under the CBL banner. The March 29th tournament being run by the wonderful Council of Jeffs. It's a Ravenwater Blood Name tournament, which is Hell's Horses, which is going to be locally recognized by any CBL player. And then we have another tournament, which is the Alberta Classic in May, also being run by the Council of Jeffs, who basically do all of our off-season stuff, which we really happy to support and maybe even throw a little prize support.
Well, time to read the last very weird line from Brett's scripts, because after this, I'll just be a guest once in a while. Time to put it all to bed for a bit, but we will have another wonderful Season 5 before everyone expects it.
Good night, everyone.